of earth.
So if you're someone like me who doesn't care at all for politics, you would still know about what's going on with Trump and Epstein. Now, I could be very wrong about this, but a very short while back, Trump was actually the most vocal person when it came to Jeffrey Epstein. He wanted these files released, and even had them quote-unquote released, only to have most of these pages look like they were straight out of Call of Duty Black Ops. Everyone was like, Mason, the numbers, what do they mean? Like I said, this was not that long ago. Maybe a little more than a month, maybe a little more than 2 months. Not that long ago. But now, all of a sudden, Trump has done a full 180 and is like, are we still talking about this guy? Are we really still chattering about this guy? Oh, you mean your best friend? Yeah. And it doesn't help either that the
I ain't gonna lie, that was a crazy turnaround. But distraction is a good distraction nonetheless. But if we're gonna entertain it, it was ridiculous. But you could see it coming. They were friends. Literally. I don't even think he was joking there. They were actually friends. Trump said himself. So, going by... Trump is a real street nigga. He's a corporate street dude. Let's be honest. And, the motto of the streets is niggas do not rat. So, Trump was not releasing no documents. And if anything does come out with that, y'all know how the government plays. They will wait until we are old, nigga. This will be our JFK. Almost every administration has, their controversy, right? You got, the fucking Nixon and the, Watergate, fucking Clinton and the Monica Lewinsky, Reagan and the Contra shit, Bush and the 9/11, Obama and just being fucking Obama, Biden and his fucking, they're trying to say it's his mental, his health was in decline and that he wasn't actually fit to be president. Every current administration at least has some fucking crazy conspiracy or some scandal tied to it. So for this, at least, this will be our JFK, our big one, to where if they ever actually do release any more real, official, they're not going to release every detail like how they did with the JFK thing, but by the time we're super old, they'll probably drop some more information by the time we're in our fucking 60s, 70s, 80s, and they're like, y'all remember back when the fucking government was doing all this crazy shit with this guy Jeffrey Epstein on this island? That's what's gonna happen. They're not gonna talk about anything now, and if it is, it's gonna be just little breadcrumbs just to satiate that hunger for wanting to just watch something instead of figuring out what the fuck is going on in the world and getting right with God. That's
people
important.
who voted for him are now just realizing that he lied again so that they could vote for him. I don't know if you guys have seen that Andrew Schultz clip where he barely realized that Trump is doing exactly the opposite of what he voted him in office to do.
Everything he campaigned on, I believe he wanted to do. And now he's doing the exact opposite thing of every single fucking thing. There'll be people that they'll DM me and be like, you see what your boy's doing?
Not even facts. Same thing. What really pisses me off, right? We actually got to clear this up. It's this no tax on overtime, right? I hear about it at work. I hear about it on the internet. Am I the only nigga that read the bill? Sometimes I feel like I'm the only nigga that really reads shit. It's cool to watch videos like how we do and learn and absorb information and knowledge that way. I'm not knocking, because sometimes you can really learn shit from a video. But, sometimes you gotta fact check what you watch and what you learn. Because niggas really don't be doing that, bro. Niggas just hear something and run with it. Bro, there is no tax on overtime. No federal nabbing of Uncle Sam taking your overtime tax dollars is not true, nigga. No matter how often they try to word it like that, there's no fucking overtime tax exemption. However, there is an overtime tax deduction. Okay? I would, just for simplification of doing it, let's just look at what ChatGPT has to say. Is there a no tax on overtime, as in a tax exemption in the big, beautiful bill, nigga? almost put bigger. Or is it a tax deduction? Lord have mercy. No, the no tax on overtime provision in the One Big Beautiful Bill, signed into law July 4th, 2025, is not an outright exemption, but rather an above-the-line tax deduction. Deduction, not exemption. Workers can deduct, and not even that much, the overtime premium, the extra halftime portion earned beyond regular pay, up to $12,500 per individual, or $25,000 for married filing jointly, from their federal taxable income for tax years 2025 to 2028. And then it's effective for tax year 2025 and then expires after 2028. So, and I've also heard that it's supposed to go into effect next year's taxes. So they might not even be in effect for this year's taxes. So, like, that's what I'm saying. And this is a quick ChatGPT rundown. What I did, I looked up the portion of the bill that people were talking about. I read it. Of course, it's in legalese. You could barely fucking understand exactly what it's trying to say. So what I did was, I did what I would hope any reasonable person would do. Take it and put it into ChatGPT and say, yo, make this and put it into clear English so I can fucking read this. And yeah, this is what you would find. So for everyone saying that it's a tax exemption, that there's no fucking tax on overtime or tips, next time, I ain't gonna lie, this is what I do. I love doing this. I love actually reading and trying to be in the know and just doing my due diligence. Because when someone says some stupid shit like that, I don't even argue niggas down no more. I just agree with niggas. I just look at them and I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, no tax on fucking overtime, dude. No fucking tax on overtime, right? Like, come on, bro. You really think these niggas is gonna let you stack up? Bro, I know somebody, word to everything, that doubled their salary off of overtime with pay stubs to prove it. These niggas literally doubled their salary just working overtime hours. Word to everything. Do you really think that Uncle Sam is not taking none of that bread? I'm not saying that was this year, but just off the fact that, and that may not be common for everybody, but for the people that have the grit to do it, do you really think they're gonna let these niggas keep that money? Yo, bro, I don't even really want to get into it. Just know that, I don't know, if anyone ever just says any of this and you're at work or anywhere and they're like, yo, no tax on overtime, no tax on this, just look at them and just be like, just know that nigga's an NPC zombie. That nigga don't know nothing.
You voted for this. I'm like, I voted for none of this. He's doing the exact opposite of everything I voted for. Yeah. I want him to stop the wars. He's funding them. I want him to shrink spending, reduce the budget. He's increasing it. It's like everything that he said he's going to do.
That's why I ain't gonna hold you, right? See, this is why I love talking politics. I love talking shit. I love talking like real stuff. You see how like I'm really engaged when I'm playing games and doing other stuff. I'm engaged, but like shit like this, real thought-provoking, deep narrative fucking conversations really get me going, right? One thing that I really genuinely don't understand, no disrespect to this guy, no disrespect to anybody on your political views, I you know, at the end of the day, I don't vote, Nick. I keep my shit to myself. I don't vote because, you know, what they say, birds of a feather flock together, so you can't have two fucking separate wings on not being part of the same eagle, right? Anyway, I don't understand how people know the government's corrupt, know the system is not right, it's flawed, know these things, that politicians are lying people pleasers that are really good at double speaking, get so fucking surprised when it happens to the point where it's like, I feel like a lot of these people with platforms, not this person in particular, Plantation Soup, maybe not even this so much this dude here, I don't even know who the fuck this is, but like it's almost as if like you're in on it. Like, nigga, how y'all not know? that this is the shit. Like, come on, were you just born yesterday? Now you're surprised that, oh my god, a politician does something that politicians are known to do. Why are you acting so surprised, nigga? This is not anything new. Niggas been acting like this since motherfucking countries was established. We're not even talking the United States. We could go way back, civilizations before. Then you want to look at Rome? These niggas stabbed up Julius Caesar because the people were really fucking with him. They was like, this nigga getting too influential. Y'all see this nigga over? Yo, this nigga Caesar? Yo, y'all heard this nigga want to name the calendar after himself? This nigga Caesar. Yeah, nah, Brutus, he tripping. You know what we about to do? We about to stab this nigga up, right? We're going to say we having a meeting. Call this nigga down here. And we just got to surround this nigga and stab his ass up. And that's the last anybody will ever know is Caesar. So they thought. So, like, listen. These conniving ass the conniving behavior is not nothing new. You're only really going to be surprised by this if you're not actually engaged with history. You don't even gotta be a political science if that isn't even a real thing, major or student or studier. Nigga, if you just read or study history, you see that this is the type of behavior that goes on in forms of government because that's how the game is played. You know, the idea that man thinks that man can rule over themselves without God, or just the idea that man literally thinks they can rule over themselves when that's not how it works. It's why we have a creator. Blows my mind. That's why we have to go through the shit we go through because of stupid shit like this. Let's keep watching.
Except sending immigrants back. And now he's even flip-flopped on that.
You understand how many people had that same thought process only to realize that it's complete bullshit? I mean, there are people who are burning MAGA hats because of what Trump is doing. Trump has some of the most loyal followers that will stand by him no matter what. So to see them go against him is something he never thought could happen. And I mean, what did he expect? He literally had everyone thinking he was about to expose the Epstein client list, but as he's reading it, he's like...
I ain't gonna hold you, right? If you're really out here burning your MAGA hat, you were just a pansy. You were not really down with the shits. Like, how the fuck did you just switch up that fast? Even though they did some stupid shit that day. Like, how the fuck, like, yo, that means you were just never really, like, you were just uneducated. Because you wouldn't be surprised by this, because you would have known they were affiliated. You would have known that this is the shit politicians do. So that's what I'm saying. Certain behaviors, and, like, this is really, like, for people that could catch what I'm throwing. Because not everybody's going to be able to catch the gems. You know what I'm saying? So, if you get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. Skip to the next fucking clip. I don't even want to waste your time. Right? Fuck. I low-key forgot where I was going with this. What the fuck was these niggas talking about?
Names on here quite a few times.
Ah, shit. You see, this is... I guess that message really... That message wasn't ready to come out yet. It really be like that.
But as he's reading it, he's like, my name's on here quite a few times. And you really had everyone thinking he was about to expose...
Oh, the turn of the hat, right? Certain things that people do expose their behavior and just the type of person that is, right? And it's very subtle things. Like I said, one thing to know somebody's very uneducated or just foolish was the no tax overtime thing. That's just an example, right? Just an example. This here, the burning of the MAGA hat and just quickly switching sides, also shows how uninformed and how uneducated someone is. Because how could you pick a side and pick a stance on something, whether it's left or right, politics, or right or wrong, or anything, pick a stance on anything, without knowing what it is you're standing for? That's a problem, because that's an issue on both sides. And as I'm saying, and not everyone's going to understand what this message means. Not everyone's going to understand what I'm even talking about. But for those of you that really get it, you know what it is I'm talking about. How could you, and like I said, it exposes it, because how could you do that? That's literally what that's showing. Like, how could you fight for something, represent something so hard? Because a lot of these people were going so hard, right? And then all of a sudden, at the slightest, like, you switch up. Shouldn't you have already known what was going to go on that this is the type of shit that you are representing when you put that stuff on, when you affiliate yourself with that type of shit. I don't know. It just goes to show of the weak knees, the weak-hearted, and both anything, right? If you're gonna do something, right or wrong, stand on that shit. The fuck, like, don't switch up at the slightest inconvenience to you, or because no, like, and that's another thing too. Don't pick a side on something if you don't fucking know what it is that you're picking a side for. That's how you end up doing something that you're gonna regret because you were ill-informed or you didn't know, because naivety and just ignorance, in terms of just blissful ignorance of just not knowing and being able to live peacefully off that, and that naivety that you get from that, oftentimes it doesn't bite you in the ass as much as it can. But one day, right, it's really going to bite you in the ass. And if you don't, because you can't always catch it, we're humans. However, if you don't try to understand that and incorporate that into your thought process and how you coordinate and how you navigate, you're just going to find yourself in a lot of stupid situations.
The Epstein client list, but as he's reading it, he's like, my name's on here quite a few times.
Nigga, we ain't even get to Elmo getting hacked.
That's not insane.
I already sat here talking over this shit like crazy. Here,
What list? And now, not even a month later, like I said, he's like, oh my god, are you still talking about Epstein? I barely even knew the guy. 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 But things aren't going to be looking good for Trump so long as he keeps avoiding what he promised people. Like, imagine the president using their powers to release something that has been kept a secret, only for them to make it a bigger secret after realizing he's about to expose himself. If Hitler would have done that, he would have had a mutiny on his hands. He'd be like, are you guys still talking about Epstein, guys? I didn't even know he was Jewish. I had him over one time. But because Trump isn't used to getting hate from his own people, he tweeted out this hilarious message. This hilarious message is pretty long, so bear with me. He said, what's going on with my boys, and in some cases gals? They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't know what's happening. We have a perfect administration, the talk of the world, and selfish people are trying to hurt it. All over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein, over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals over at the Biden administration, who conned the world with the Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, and more? They created the Epstein files, just like they created the fake Hillary Clinton Christopher Steele dossier that they used on me, and now my so-called friends are playing right into their hands. Why didn't the radical left lunatics release the Epstein files? If there was anything in there that could have hurt the MAGA movement, why didn't they use it? They haven't even given up on the John F. Kennedy or Martin Luther King Jr. files. No matter how much success we've had securing the border, deporting criminals, fixing the economy, energy dominance, a safer world where Iran will not have nuclear weapons, it's never enough for some people. We are about to achieve more in 6 months than any other administration has achieved in over 100 years. And we have so much more to do. We are saving our country and making America great again, which will continue to be our complete priority. The left is imploding. Kash Patel and the FBI must be focused on investigating voter fraud, political corruption, Act Blue, the rigged and stolen election of 2020, and arresting thugs and criminals, instead of spending months after months looking at something but some old name. Radical left-inspired documents on Jeffrey Epstein. Let Pam Bondi do her job. She's great. The 2020 election was rigged and stolen, and they tried to do the same thing in 2024. That's what she is looking into as Attorney General, and much more. 1 year ago, our country was dead. Done. finished. Now it's the hottest country in the world. Let's keep it that way and not waste our time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody nobody cares about. Thank you for your attention on this matter. Now, if you support Trump and you read all of that and then you still support Trump, you need to be. That's coming from someone who has never voted for anyone of Obama, Hillary, Biden, or anyone else other than President Trump, Pamela Bondi, and Kash Patel. And because, like I said, this was back in February, people are like, where's the second phase, dog? Like, it literally says, the Attorney General has requested the FBI to deliver the remaining documents to the department by 8 a.m. on February 28th and has tasked FBI Director Kash Patel with investigating why the request for the documents was not followed. Don't listen to what anyone says. These guys got those documents and they saw how many times Trump name came up and they're like, see, now do you realize why we didn't want to declassify the files? Give me the paper, you dumb orange bitch. Like, you know it's getting bad when people are hacking accounts that have nothing to do with politics and have them start tweeting like they're an angry MAGA follower. Like, someone hacked Elmo's account just to tweet this. Release the files, Donald Trump, you CFer. And then the one in my thumbnail, you know what I'm talking about? And then the biggin, Elmo says, all Jews should Jews. Donald Trump is the Israel Prime Minister's puppet because he is in the Epstein files. Jews control the world and need to be a. Now, part of me thinks the actual person who runs this account finally has had enough and tweeted out this and just blamed it on the hacker. I mean, it's not like this account has a history of being hacked. Dude is probably just fed up and he's like, let me just fire out these bangers one time for the one time. I mean, he cut the funding to Sesame Street. I'm just saying, disgruntled employee isn't off the table. I guess in a sense, though, doing this from Elmo's account did get more attention, whereas if it came from, like, a real person's account, meaning a human celebrity, people would be like, stupid hacker. But now it's like, unless Trump takes another bullet to the ear, this is going to be all people are talking about unless he releases those files. But even then, nobody is going to trust him anymore. The surveillance video they released was missing a minute. Experts say that it was edited, downloaded, and then re-uploaded like 5 times to lower the quality. Trump is doing a speed run on how to fuck up your reputation. And hey, when Sesame Street characters start going after you, dog, and people are agreeing with them, hoping it's more so this tweet, not the Jew ones, but hey, yeah guys, the Elmo account on Twitter was hacked by someone who just wanted to voice their displeasure for Donald Trump. That sentence alone, though, shows you how crazy 2025 is. Until tomorrow, peace.
That honestly really shows you how serious this shit is, though. But as always, everything's always a distraction from something more greater, right? So the new true question is, what is going on out there in the world that they don't want us to know? Because anytime, right, they know, if they need to keep people distracted, they could flip, for most of the masses, the Jeffrey Epstein switch. But if you want to keep the ignorant niggas in check, you give them something like the Diddy trials or something to watch. But amongst all these distractions, we must ask, what is going on in the world that they don't want us to know? Beautiful dawn of the morning, I'm gonna chase you out of earth.